What's up with it, fam? It's your boy AsappDaThrilla here, back at it again with another video. Now, fam, today this video is going to be very different from the content that I usually make. But I wanted to make it fun today, so I'm going to actually create a game out of the video that I created today. But fam, the whole point of this video is to show you guys how a lot of times, we look past a lot of economic opportunities that might be right in front of us, right? And the example that I'm using today is regarding gentrification. A lot of times, poorer people, people who live in neighborhoods and communities for years and years, live in those communities, and a lot of times they never own anything in those communities. So let me go ahead and get straight into the game that I'm creating. So basically what I want you guys to do is tell me exactly how many single family homes that I'm passing along that are new builds. Now it counts if you see the framing going up, right? If you see just wood sticking up out of the ground and it looks like they're about to start on a new build, that also counts. But we're also counting homes that have just recently been built. Do your research. It may not be easy, but it's not supposed to be easy. So y'all do some digging. And then the second thing that I'm looking for is for you guys to tell me how many new build multifamily projects have been recently put up, right? So that's another one. And then on top of that, I have a bonus question. And the bonus question is, how many Dallas zip codes did I drive through today? Right? Now, here's the catch, right? There is a catch. And the catch is I'm going to need at least 50 people to participate in this game for it to even be considered a game, right? And once we get 50 people, the first 2 people to respond to me via email with the correct answers will be the winners. They will be winning $150 in either cash or Bitcoin, right? And I'll be sending out payments via CashApp, right? And again, like I stated in the beginning of this video, there is a bonus question, which is optional, by the way. It's optional. But if you get the bonus question correct, you will be getting an additional $50, right? And again, either cash or Bitcoin via CashApp. So that's the game. And you can email me at AsappDaThrilla@yahoo.com. Again, that's AsappDaThrilla@yahoo.com. And if you do not know how to spell AsappDaThrilla, just look at my YouTube channel name, right? It'll be my YouTube channel name at yahoo.com. All right, fam. So there is one more catch. And this other catch should be pretty simple, but what you're going to have to do is listen to me give my spiel on how I think the best way to combat gentrification happening in your neighborhoods while you stand to not benefit, right? Like, fam, listen, I'm going to get straight into it. Like, it makes absolutely no sense how this transfer of wealth is happening right in front of us. And Dallas is the perfect example. A huge influx of money is pouring in. People coming from New York selling their homes. California selling their homes, cashing out with like $700,000, $1 million, because the housing market there is at a much higher level than it is in Dallas. And they're coming here with cash and they're able to buy up a lot of these properties, right? Cash. And not only that, but we got hedge funds, we got companies and institutions that's buying up a lot of these properties. But am I saying that you as an individual can compete with a hedge fund or an institution or people coming from states where they have the ability to sell the properties that they have and come here and prop up our housing market by all the cash that they're just slushing around and buying up these properties and outbidding us on these same properties? I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying that we can necessarily compete with them because there's an obvious disadvantage. But what we can do is we could benefit from the transfer of wealth that's going to happen at some point. Now, what a lot of people living in these types of communities are ultimately going to have to decide to do is make a decision, right? They're going to have to make a decision. Hey, do I want to be the type of person that complains when gentrification starts to happen in my neighborhood? Or am I going to be the person that benefits from the transfer of wealth that's going to happen or that could happen as a result of gentrification moving into my neighborhood, right? You have to make that decision for yourself, right? And then once you make that decision, then you got to roll with the punches, right? So listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that people are going to decide to benefit, right? Just for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to assume that people are going to decide to benefit, right? What are some ways that people who don't really necessarily have a lot of money, right? Like, how can they actually benefit from the properties in their own neighborhoods before gentrification begins to roll around, right? So first of all, fam, you have to plan as if gentrification won't come, because it's possible that it won't come in your lifetime, right? And the other thing that you have to realize, fam, is that if you can't afford a property in the neighborhood that you live in, if you live in a poor urban community, then most likely you won't be able to afford a property anywhere else, right? So with that being said, fam, we just got to play this game like Monopoly, right? Play the game of Monopoly. It takes 4 red houses to get that hotel, right? So it's the same concept, fam. Now, I'm not saying that we all want to build a whole bunch of wealth, right? But fam, to me, it's just unacceptable to be renting a property for 20, 30 years, fam. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised, a lot of people actually choose to rent homes for 20, 30 plus years, right? And fam, that's just throwing so much wealth away, right? And a lot of times actually buying these properties, especially before gentrification begins to roll in, right? Like, it's actually feasible, but you just have to be the one to actually make the decision to make a change in your life, right? Like, listen, fam, a lot of these properties around South Dallas just 5 years ago, right? You could have gotten a plot of land for, $3,000, $2,500, $5,000, fam, right? Crazy cheap, dirt cheap. Now, listen, fam, a lot of the people living in these neighborhoods, right, paying all of this rent, right? Just paying off all kind of other people's mortgages, right? Fam, a lot of these people's refund checks was $8,000, right? You know how they be sometimes claiming other people's kids, right? And sometimes people just got a lot of kids, right? Or whatever the situation may be, right? Like, people can get their hands on $2,500 here in the United States of America, $5,000, right? So saying that you didn't have the money is absolutely no excuse. So, fam, look, here's some ways that this can actually be done, right? Like, buying up properties, fam. Like, let's just say in the situation that you didn't have money. You did not have any access to $2,500. Fam, listen, these are your communities. These are your neighborhoods. This is the wealth that you are walking past every single day that other people decided to see the value in, right? Like, fam, why not come up with a strategy of practicing group economics if this is something that you can't do on your own, right? Like, why not get together with family or friends, right? And of course, evaluate that relationship. You know the type of people in your circle who is responsible enough and has enough integrity for you to actually do a little bit of business with them, right? You know the people who you can do business with and the people who you cannot do business with, right? But listen, fam, it's just absolutely unacceptable to be living in a neighborhood for 30 plus years and own absolutely nothing, especially when all of the property surrounding you is dirt cheap. In that situation, fam, right, when we walk past all of this opportunity every single day, and then when gentrification decides to come in and displace a lot of people, fam, in all reality, you can't complain about it, right? You can't complain about it. The people who actually participated and actually bought up some property, bought up some land, right, saw the vision and understood that one day this neighborhood is going to turn around, right? Or one day, who knows, they could build a super center, or they could build something right next to this property. So why not own something, right? Because property, land appreciates in value, right? It may not go up as fast as something like Bitcoin, right? Or something like equities in the stock market, but it still appreciates. It still at least holds its value, right? For the most part. So, fam, what we got to do is we just got to understand the opportunities that surround us, right? And we got to start participating because gentrification is coming, right? There's a shortage of housing all over the U.S., and there's only a limited supply of land. You see what I'm saying? There's only a limited supply of land. So what we got to do is we got to realize opportunity. And listen, we don't have to wait on gentrification. Once we own property, gentrification helps if you want to build some wealth real quick. But fam, a lot of times we can create the opportunities ourselves, but we got to get started first by actually owning some property, right? Got to own some property. Like, look, take this for instance, right? Think about this, right? And this is kind of on topic, but think about how many barbers, right? Think about how many barbershops that's in that same shopping center, right, for 30 plus years. And the owner of the barbershop has been paying rent to whoever owns the commercial properties for over 30 years, right? Now, just imagine how much wealth that barber would have been able to build if he were to establish his building, or if he were to establish his business inside of a building that he actually owned, right? And, and if he had some additional space, he could have potentially rented it out to others, right? That would have been all the revenues that he had been collecting over the past 30 years, right? Right, no difference, pretty much no difference in revenues, right? Let's just assume there was no difference in revenues. But the difference is now he has, at some point, eventually, he will get a building completely paid off, right? That's something that's actually that's something that's actually added to his net worth, something that he can actually sell and help to fund his retirement at some point, right? Now, listen, fam, a lot of people but barbers can't afford no whole building. Barbers can't afford that, right? Well, again, that goes back to the same concept of group economics, right? Group economics. Find other people who want to go into business. Now, I'm not saying you just got to wait until you can buy something for you to start your business, right? But I'm just saying it's unacceptable to be living in a place for over 30 years and you don't own nothing. Or for you to establish a business somewhere for over 30 years and you absolutely own nothing. Now, a lot of people would disagree with me, but that's just my stance, right? That's just my opinion. That's my belief, right? Fam, with a lot of these commercial buildings, what people can do is find other people who are looking to also get into business, right? You guys could put together an LLC and you guys could go in together and purchase a property, right? It could be a barbershop right here. If it's big enough, you can put you a restaurant. If somebody wants to open them up a restaurant and they already are planning on renting out an office space, right? And then you can find somebody else, like a third person, if it's big enough, right? And you guys could go in and you can own the property together, right? Now, listen, fam, this is another strategy. I told y'all, fam, y'all got to listen to my spiel. This is another catch, right? This is another catch to this video. You got to listen to my spiel because I'm absolutely frustrated by looking at all of this gentrification and all of this wealth that's being created right in front of us and just knowing that a lot of people just did not benefit from the transfer of wealth, right? But listen, fam, imagine owning this land. Look at all this empty land right here, right? And just imagine if you just got together with a group of people and y'all decided to buy one of these plots of land, right? And just hold it, right? Put it in the LLC, right? Now, I know it might be unfeasible to a lot of people who don't have a lot of wealth. But again, you don't have to go big. You don't have to go big. You can start off small. But just imagine one day a developer or or somebody who's involved in real estate who wants to build on your land. Just imagine if one day they was like, look, I want to buy this land from you. This is what I plan on putting up, right? What you can do is look, we can do that, right? We can do that. You can either pay me this amount, right? Which, of course, you're not going to sell it unless you're in profit if you're not behind on taxes, right? Or you can come with them and strike a deal and be like, look, I like what you're planning on building right here, right? But instead of selling it to you, what we can do is I can contribute this land and we can be partners on this development deal, right? You can take you a percentage of the sale of the property, or if they decide to lease something out, especially like something like a commercial building, oh man, right? You can actually contribute that land for a stake of ownership in that property, right? But you just got to learn how to put together a deal. Like, fam, it's just so many ways to create wealth, but you got to participate. That's the catch. All right, fam, so I want to take the time real quick to let y'all know that I really appreciate you guys for making it this far in the video. Now, for the last 5 minutes of the video, what I'm doing is I'm driving to pretty much the other side of this area, and I'm not going to tell you the zip code because that's up to you to find if you want to win those bonus dollars, right? But listen, fam. Listen, the area that I'm about to go to, y'all about to see the full effect of the gentrification, right? I wanted to save this towards the end of the video because I didn't want people to think that they seen the best at the beginning of the video, right? Fam, what you're about to see is like the full force of gentrification, right? At its best, at its finest, right? This was a lot of wealth that was transferred that did not benefit most of the renters, or really any of the renters that were here to begin with, right? And listen, fam, along with gentrification, another thing that happens is a lot of homeless people gets displaced, right? And it's always sad to see, but at the same time, fam, we all make our own decisions, right? We all have the same 48 hours, right? In 2 days, I said 48 hours. We all got the same 24 hours, right? We all got the same 24 hours, right? And I'm not meaning to say that to sound like a heartless person, right? I definitely have a heart, but at the same time, like, it's really hard for me to give people excuses when a lot of people didn't grow up as hard as I did, right? Now, yeah, some people did grow up as hard as I did, or in some cases, very rare cases, harder. But fam, My mom was a single parent and she raised 5 of us because my dad passed away. I grew up in the projects, in the hood, right? But at some point, I made a decision, right? I took the initiative. I seeked education. I intentionally saved my money. I invested. I invested in myself, right? And I've tried, I've taken risks, I've lost, and then I've had a lot of wins, right? We all got the same 24 hours. It's all up to what we decide to do with those 24 hours, right? But thank y'all for listening to the to the little spiel that I had. That was another catch for you guys to just hear what I had to say. Hopefully what I said today encourages some people to stop and take a look at what's around you, right? Look at the neighborhoods that you live in. What opportunities exist, right? Do you see gentrification coming soon? If so, you might want to start scooping something up. And even if gentrification doesn't come in your lifetime, fam, you can still invest in your own neighborhoods and you can create the opportunity, right? You don't have to wait for somebody else to come and bring up the property values in that neighborhood. You can invest in your own neighborhoods, right? You can invest in your own neighborhoods. And of course, fam, once you start bringing in wealth and investing in your neighborhoods, you want to make sure that, you want to try to do the best you can to keep it clean and safe, right? Nobody can do it better than the people who actually live in that community. That's all I really got to say, fam. I'm gonna end the rest of this video letting y'all listen to the music. So I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit. I just want y'all to look around and look at all of this wealth that was created, fam. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And all the wealth that was just literally just bypassed all of the people who was written in these very same places. And then the other thing, right, that I wanted to mention, a lot of these buildings that look a lot older on the outside, stop and take a look at what the inside look like. Get on Zillow or Redfin or LoopNet, and you might be able to find some pictures. Get on Google, and you can find some of the pictures of what a lot of the interior of these buildings look like, right? When gentrification happened, when a lot of these new builds came in, a lot of these old properties, old commercial buildings were also renovated in the inside. This is a really nice area. But again, fam, I'm about to end it right here. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope that y'all participate in the game. That's all I got to say, fam. Holla at your boy.